Hello, Virgo. Thank you for tuning in. This is the love segment. For the main read, for the tarot part, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot, as usual lately, by Paul Foster Case, and Arthur Edward Case. For the supportive cards, oracle cards, I'm using the Romance Angel cards by Doreen Virtue. I have a thing for sitting in the sun lately, so I apologize for the glare. Okay, so we're starting off. First half is going to be a relationship. Second half is going to be for singles. Emperor did come out for you. Okay, so alright, so where are we starting off? I feel like there's a duality here. Where you're standing and what's holding you back. I feel like there's some burdens on your side and you're not, but you're very hopeful or something. There's some communication that has to happen with your partner because this is what holds you back. I feel like you're feeling very good and you have stable plans or stable thoughts about what to do next. I don't feel like you've chosen to share those yet. So I feel like you're at a very good spot. You're a little burdened. I feel like you're aware that some work has to be done, but you're confident about what has to be done and it being done correctly and being able to do it. I just feel like you haven't shared that yet, and that's kind of the burden. I feel like that's where the burden comes from. For some reason, you haven't given that forward yet. And it may be because you need more from them than usual. And you're just like, I feel like you got a double. You got also carrying. I feel like you're carrying a lot of the weight at the moment. So where you're starting off with, I feel like you're carrying most of the weight of the situation. Can you see that? There we go. This is the one where you're carrying the weight of the situation. This is where I feel like you have burdens you've been holding for a while and you just haven't communicated it to them what they need to do. I feel like they're going happy-go-lucky right now. That's where they currently are. I feel like you're letting them slide a little bit on responsibilities, but I feel like they're aware that this is not going to keep going too long. When I see the High Priestess, yep. I feel like they know. I feel like they realize, that things have to change. And they're aware that they have to do their part. I feel like they're kind of living it up a little bit at the moment. They might be kind of living high in the hog, is that the term? Okay. So as we continue on, I do feel like they're aware of it. Like they're holding back a little bit. They know they have to do a little more work. I feel like they're kind of procrastinating with it. I do feel like they know it. Like when I see this and this, like this is what's holding them back. Like they know, but they're not sharing. And they're a little like, I feel like they're kind of procrastinating or they don't want to do this next part. I don't know. They don't want something. They have to give up some of their free time. They have to sacrifice a little for the situation. They have to sacrifice a little for the situation, and they're kind of holding back for that. Now, I do want to say before we go too far, on their side, they have the Ace of Cups, which really, to me, says if this is hitting for you, they definitely love you, and they're definitely deep in this relationship. I just feel like there's some sacrifices. There might be some hobbies, expensive hobbies, something like that they have to give up. And that's the only reason why they're kind of holding back. I don't feel like there's anything really bad. It's just a piece of their life that they have to kind of like put on the back burner or they have to like say goodbye to. I'm not sure if it's a permanent done or if it's just like for now they have to like whatever it is that they like doing, they have to sacrifice that. But it's a good thing. And I feel like they're on board with that. I feel like they're more kind of like that's something they did in the past, and they're feeling like, you know what, once I let go of this, it's pretty much that's it. That's done. It's not going to be like it was again. And I feel like they're kind of a little reluctant to let it go. That being said, I do feel like they do hit the point where they realize it is time for this. Whatever that is that they love doing, it just seems like it's run its course and it's time to let it go. And they feel like I feel like on their side, they can't. I don't feel like you want to make them completely give it up, but they're viewing it like it's either all in or all out. And they're feeling like it's time to let it go. It's something they used to enjoy, something they still do enjoy, but it's just not feasible for your relationship, what you guys are doing, and where you want to go in this relationship. It's just not feasible to keep doing it. So they're feeling like they have to let it completely go. Okay. But I feel like when they make this decision, it makes you feel like, you know what, that's all that much more, like the justice is in your court. You feel like, it's kind of, I feel like you're kind of on the same page. Like, you know what, that's kind of a good way to look at this, because we have other things, and it's, if we, free up that resource, there's more we can do going forward with our relationship, more things, more making the relationship more of an asset. I feel like whatever time and money is being spent on that, whatever they're doing, once they relinquish that and go more into the relationship, I feel like you both feel better about it. But the reason they're doing it is because they see, like, this is the relationship for them, and they want to let these things go because there's other things that are more important. Even though they loved whatever they used to do, this relationship is more important, and where this relationship is going is more important. You're feeling like it's going to take some time for them to really get used to it, and I feel like you're not very pushy in the sense of, like, you realize they're letting it go and they're making that decision on their own. So you're like, I feel like you're sitting back, you're like, as long as it keeps going in the right direction, even if it's baby steps moving on, you're completely fine with that, because you realize that they're on the same page as you and where this relationship is going. Okay. Alright, so is there anything before I go to the last piece here? Because it looks good to me. So basically, I feel like you've been kind of like feeling like it's time for them to let it go, and you're seeing that they're gonna. I feel like you're feeling good about that. It's something they do. It's almost like a hobby or an interest that they have invested in, but it's something that's kind of ran its course, and it's time to move on from that, because the relationship is calling for more of their time and possibly more resources. I feel like whatever it is they do might take up a chunk of resource too, monetarily, and they're realizing that time has passed, and that hobby or that interest is just, it's not going to fit for where you both want to go. And I feel like you're merging more together on this thought. It may be a slow progression moving out of it, but you see that they are committed to doing that because they're more into the relationship than whatever the hobby is. So coming back to the Sun card, I do feel like you see this happening, but you're not really pushing. And it's a little burdensome because you prefer sooner rather than later, but it's fine as long as it keeps moving. And I feel like you're willing to carry the burden a little more on your side. As long as it's going in the right direction, you're fine with it. But you do see it happening. Okay, now the final result here, what really helps is I feel like you just stand your ground in the same sense of, like, as long as it keeps going in the same direction. I feel like you're kind of like supportive, like the more that they go in the direction of the relationship, if I can make this look right, the more that they go in the direction towards the relationship and less towards the hobby or whatever that interest is, I feel like you put a lot of positive feedback in when they step away from that and closer to the relationship, if that makes sense. I don't feel like you're negative, but if they start going the other way, I feel like you might become a little more stoic or a little more less responsive, and it's almost like the silence speaks volumes type thing. But I do feel like the more support you give as they move closer to the relationship and away from that other interest, which I feel like it's like a monetary hobby type thing, the more support you give, the stronger it gets, where they're just kind of they're just accepting that part of their life is over. I feel like they're viewing it as if it's over. I feel like you would be more like, I don't expect them to completely give that up. And I don't feel like you're demanding that. And you're probably thinking, if they want to keep that a little bit on the side, that's fine. But they're viewing it like that's a done deal, that's a thing in the past. And they're kind of moving on from it because they're sinking more dedication into the relationship. Guys, hey! Probably a vicious rabbit out there again. Probably. Guys, come on! Farrell! Come on! Alright, well, they're just going to do that. So, this was the end of this part anyway, so I think we got to the end of this. I do see it going in your direction, so I think we're good there. I didn't see the need for any oracle cards, so I'm going to move into the other side. Seriously? You know I'm doing readings, right? She's like, what? I gotta tell you, there's peoples. Is it peoples or is it a vicious rabbit? Is it a bloodthirsty rabbit? I bet you it is. Thank you for defending the house. Okay. Singles. Virgo singles. Did you do a good job, Fair? Did you get them? Did you tell them? Yeah, I did. I told them too. I did. Okay. Singles. Single Virgo. Messages for single Virgo. Okay. Alright. So. Ace of Cups is on the bottom of yours too. Excuse me. Now, I'm getting a gist of what I think is going on here. I'm just going to pop out a couple clarifiers, at least one. I feel like this is popping into the future here. Alright, so you're standing in a very loving position. You got the Empress here. My question I think this is someone for your past, because you got the past card here for the environment. It might be a revisit for you. It seems like this is a theme for a couple different cards. Signs. But I feel like you're in a very loving position. A very nurturing position. I feel like whatever the situation is, the history of it here, I feel like you've been staying out of it for the most part. You've been staying away from the situation, you've been kind of moving on from it. You haven't been getting that involved. I feel like you've been very dedicated to that thought. Wherever this started from, I feel like the interest, somebody might have offered something or came towards you in a sense. Something became more obvious that somebody had interest, is what I'm thinking. You got the hanged man over here. This is the distant past. This is what's next to come in. But they're touching is why I'm bringing them together. And you have the chemistry, because I feel like the chemistry between you and this person has been lasting. It's been going on for quite a while. But I also feel like you got the Knight of Pentacles here, meaning that you've had a certain mindset about the whole situation. Since you found out about this information, you stayed in the same mindset, and I'm feeling you haven't moved forward on it. Granted, it's a general read, but I'm feeling like you haven't moved forward on it. And you have specific reasons for why. You've decided, for some reason, that this is not a good idea. The overall energy is the Four of Cups, but I'm feeling the reason you're kind of looking at this cup like, because you're thinking it's not a good idea. You're seeing some problems here. I feel like you might know this person from a roundabout way, and you might have seen problems they had with other people or other people who might be close to you. That might be a situation. There might be like a relative or a friend that they have been involved with before, and you've seen the problems they went through, and you're seeing not only do you not want to repeat those, but you're kind of worried like if you get involved with this person, there's going to be a whole nother level of discord with you and the person that's close to you already. Okay, so that seems kind of complicated, but that's what we got. But the chemistry is there, and from whenever you found out that they were interested, they might know as well that you're interested a little bit. Well, I feel like you're begrudgingly interested. You don't want to be interested, but the chemistry is there. But you've been holding strong, trying to stay away from this person, trying to stay out of it. I feel like recently they might have put forth an offer, or kind of like something came your way in some sense, but you walked away from it. Some type of offer from them, or some type of opportunity. You knew they were going somewhere, and because they were going to be at the event, you decided to bow out of it. Something like that, because you're just trying to stay away from it. You're trying to not... I feel like you're waiting on the sidelines, waiting for them to find someone else so that it's not an issue anymore. Then you're like, well, now that there's somebody else, it doesn't even matter. I feel like you're kind of doing that. If this reading is hitting for you, of course. Now, something's going on here. Because while this is where I feel like you're starting out, and like someone from the past, you're staying above it. You've decided, you know what, I'm not getting involved, but you do have feelings, and I feel like you're kind of starting to kind of soften a bit because you might be seeing it more through their eyes than the person the person you're close to. You might be giving this a benefit of a doubt, kind of not trying to. You're just kind of softening on the issue a little bit. I'm saying that because you have the Ace of Pentacles in your future with this person, which starts to denote maybe something's going to start. Above that, you have the Ace of Cups. It's at the bottom of the deck, which makes me feel like there's a lot of baggage here. There's a lot of levels to this, and you've been trying to push it on, but it's getting a little heavy to ignore, and you're just like, you know what? I'm feeling it. It's getting stronger. I don't want to walk away from it anymore. This is in the future. Like, I feel like it's because something comes your way, and something just clicks just right, and you're just like, you know what? I don't think I want to walk away from this. Two Oracle cards you have in the same spot with the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, forgiving and learning, which is that card, and then you deserve love. So for whatever it was in the past that you know about them, I feel like you're just kind of letting it go, and you're deciding that, you know what, you can't just not. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of one of those things where, like, the past is the past, and just because somebody else had past with this person doesn't mean you're not allowed to have a future with this person. So you're making this decision. It's not like you came across it lightly, but you're like, you know what? I feel like you're deciding to give it a chance. Because when this comes forward, this is the first part. And when that happens, whatever happens that makes you change your mind or go in that direction, I feel like in the future you have the Five of Cups with the Death card, which means I feel like there's problems here that some people might be stepping away from you because they're angry. But I also have to give the relationship a chance card right above it, which means I feel like the romantic partnership, the person you were stepping away from, I feel like you're giving them a chance. I feel like you're giving them a chance. I feel like you're coming forward about what you're doing. You're letting people know. You're just trying to keep it on the level. And some people step away because of it. This is also a whole new beginning card, by the way. But I feel like you're telling people right off the bat, so you can start this off, because you're like, I feel like you're really like, you know what, I've thought about this. If I'm really going to give this a shot, I got to be honest from the beginning and let the chips fall where they may. And I feel like you're right on the level about it. Like, I feel like this is something that you've been holding on to for a while. And now that you've actually decided to give it a shot, you're just like, you know what? I've held this in too long. I'm not going to start this on a bad foot in the sense of like holding it or making it secrets or sneaking around. Because what good's that? If we are sneaking around and then we're caught, then it really looks bad. So I'm just going to put it right out there, what's going on and how I feel about it. And I'm just going to be honest from the very beginning and just let the chips fall where they may. Very interesting, but I feel like that's what's going on here. Okay, I kind of feel like that's all we have for this. Okay. Naturally, if you'd like a reading from me, go ahead and shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.